A Christmas photo released by the royal family features a bad Photoshop job where Prince Louis's finger appears to be missing. And this is sweet. Meghan Markle said she has a finger they can use if they need it.
When Colin Jost took the SNL stage and stared straight into the camera, no one expected what came next. "All Britain wants," he said, deadpan, "is for us to keep these two," as a photo of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle appeared. The crowd erupted. But that laugh, it wasn't just about the punchline. It was the kind of laugh people let out when someone finally says what everyone's been thinking, but no one's dared to say out loud.
President Trump also announced a new trade deal with the UK. All that Britain demands in return is that we keep these two.
No! No! I refuse! I'm sick of it!
For Meghan Markle, that joke wasn't just a jab. It was a warning shot, because the public's patience is wearing thin. And her silence? It might be doing more damage than any rumor could. This isn't about one comedy segment. This is about how the story of Meghan Markle is starting to unravel, and the clues are everywhere. It wasn't the first time Meghan and Harry had been the butt of a joke, but this time, it landed differently. Coming from a mainstream primetime comedy show with a massive audience, the sting hit deeper.
Turns out Prince Harry and Meghan Markle will still get paid millions of dollars for doing absolutely nothing.
Jost's delivery was sharp, and it hit a cultural nerve, one that's been building quietly for months. The joke wasn't crude, it wasn't over the top. It was cold, simple, and devastating. In that one line, Meghan and Harry went from former royals to recurring punchlines. And when comedy starts reflecting criticism, it's not comedy anymore. It's cultural commentary.
If you came up with the picture of an annoying, insufferable white woman, it would be Meghan Markle, even though she's not one.
Viewers weren't just laughing at the joke, they were nodding along. Because for many, the Meghan Markle brand no longer feels untouchable. And this time, the internet didn't cancel the joke. It embraced it. Less than 24 hours after the SNL roast, Meghan posted a carefully curated photo, a warm Mother's Day moment featuring her with Archie and Lilibet. Sweet, wholesome, peaceful. But the contrast was blinding. The same weekend that Meghan was being mocked on live television, she was also busy presenting the perfect family portrait. Some viewers saw it as damage control. Others noticed a pattern. Every time the narrative starts slipping, a public gesture tries to reel it back in. The timing wasn't lost on anyone.
Like, well, what's this girl, Meghan Markle? Just complaining. I was like, didn't she hit the light-skin lottery? Acting all dumb like she don't know nothing. I had no idea how racist they were. It's the royal family. They're the original racists.
Before the sketch aired, Meghan and Harry were photographed at Beyoncé's concert, all smiles and affection. Meghan even shared a clip of Harry kissing her on the cheek, branding it with romantic softness. A day later, the backlash was back. The warmth couldn't cover the cold truths. The question started to creep in. Was this authentic? Or was it PR, polished and timed to perfection? Then came the photo. An old image, quietly floating back to the surface, of a woman who looked uncannily like Meghan, lounging on a luxury yacht in the early 2000s and 10s. Champagne in hand, designer sunglasses, surrounded by powerful men and high-profile influencers. There was no caption, no context.
They didn't want him to be a prince or a princess, not knowing what the gender would be, which would be different from protocol, and that he wasn't going to receive security.
But the internet didn't need much. Reddit threads lit up. Twitter sleuths compared facial features, tracked down metadata, and matched outfits to old red carpet appearances. The deeper they dug, the more the picture started to form. And the implications? Massive. Because if Meghan was already circulating in elite circles before Suits made her famous, if she was already in the same rooms as the rich and powerful, then her path to royalty might not have been as spontaneous as it seemed. Suddenly, the fairy tale started to feel scripted. Not a love story born of serendipity, but a chess match, meticulously played.
They were very worried about their safety, which I get that aspect to things. After 6 episodes, I wanted to attack them.
That photo alone might have faded again. But it didn't. Because once people started digging, they realized it wasn't just one picture that had vanished. Entire Instagram accounts, tagged photos, interviews, gone. Quietly. Strategically. As if someone hit the delete button on an entire chapter of her life. And it wasn't just the digital trail. Friends who used to post with Meghan? Silent. Stylists, actors, influencers who once sang her praises? Now strangely absent from the narrative.
And I used to not like Meghan Markle, but now I'm a fan. I don't know. I think she's funny. I think every time she drops one of these archetype podcasts, she sounds very breathy and she sounds like an actress. And we know that rather than her talking about something awesome that happened in her life, because her life is pretty awesome, right? For a D-list actress, she's now married to a prince.
Some claimed NDAs had been signed. Others just disappeared altogether. The most powerful voice in the room suddenly said nothing. Meghan, who once clapped back at headlines, sued over privacy, and spoke out on global platforms, didn't say a word. No denial, no clarification, just silence. And in 2025, silence doesn't mean strength. It screams strategy. Or worse, guilt. Once Saturday Night Live fired the first shot, others followed. South Park's worldwide privacy tour didn't just roast Harry and Meghan, it dismantled them.
Meghan Markle has finally revealed why she and Prince Harry call each other M and H.
And he'll say M and you'll say H and your friends say M and it just is a thing.
It's a thing.
And do you both love it?
Yes, and I like nicknames a lot.
What could it be?
Meghan was shown demanding privacy while shouting through a megaphone from a private jet. Harry came off as clueless, a royal puppy defending a cause he barely understood. The satire was brutal, but not unfair. It captured the contradiction the public had been stewing over. How do two people obsessed with escaping the spotlight keep ending up in it? Family Guy piled on next, calling the couple greedy and lazy. Chris Rock joked about the now infamous Oprah interview line. They wanted to know how brown the baby would be, saying even black families ask that. It wasn't just comedians going rogue. It was comedy catching up to public perception. When laughter turns into truth, the mask slips. From the outside, Meghan's brand has always been about resilience, grace, and reinvention. But lately, it feels more like rebranding on steroids. There was the Netflix documentary, carefully edited for sympathy. The Spotify deal, packed with curated stories and quotes about justice. The lifestyle brand launch with cutesy messaging and pastel perfection. And let's not forget the royal protocol trauma. Meghan claimed that learning to curtsy was deeply upsetting, a moment she delivered with a mock performance that rubbed even fans the wrong way. To many, it didn't feel real anymore. It felt rehearsed. Like the goal wasn't healing, it was control. Control of the story, the narrative, the past. But the more she tries to shape it, the more people start noticing the cracks. The most unsettling part of this entire saga? The people pulling it apart aren't journalists. They're regular internet users, with spare time and sharp instincts. They're matching faces with facial recognition software. They're lining up Yacht guest lists with LinkedIn profiles. They're taking screenshots of posts that quietly vanished overnight.
Have you been hanging out with Meghan and Harry since
No.
they've been in California?
No, I don't know them.
What they're building isn't a scandal, it's a timeline. And in that timeline, Meghan's life before royalty doesn't look accidental. It looks deliberate. The circles she moved in, the events she attended, the relationships she cultivated, all of it is forming a pattern. And when a story starts to feel like a pattern, people stop seeing it as coincidence. There's something off about how Meghan's team is handling this. She's fought tabloids before. She's gone to court, launched public campaigns, spoken out about everything from mental health to misinformation. But when it comes to the yacht photos, the social media cleanup, the disappearing friends, nothing. No posts, no statements, no subtle Instagram story. Just a calculated quiet. That silence is fueling the storm. Because in today's world, disappearing your past doesn't make people forget. It makes them obsessed. Every gap becomes a mystery. Every silence, a clue. And now, fans and critics alike are asking, if Meghan has nothing to hide, why is she working so hard to hide it? In the end, it wasn't a bombshell interview or a secret leak that shifted public opinion. It was a joke. A single line from Colin Jost on a Saturday night that made everyone realize maybe we've all been seeing the cracks, but just didn't want to admit it. Now that the floodgates are open, there's no stopping the questions. No unseeing the pattern. No deleting the whispers. Because if this past wasn't just messy, but carefully covered up, what else hasn't been told? And as Meghan tries to rebrand, the world isn't waiting for her next move. They're digging through her last one. The real story might not be what she says next, but what she still refuses to say at all.